All right, all right. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Uh, Thank you for joining us, and welcome to another Minecraft stream. And today we're doing something a little bit different than normal. We are actually on Darby World 1.0. So this was that very first world we've been talking about for a while, and we're going to be able to do a tour. And I am today joined by Dyson. Hi, Dyson. How's it going?
Hello.
So, yeah, this world, like we said before, was started on a very, very early version. We're unable to pin down exactly what it was, but based on the timing, 1.3 or 1.4 seems to be the correct one. And so, yeah, we'll put in some music here and then wander around and show you where things are, what we've done on this world and all of that. This is my bedroom, and there's a little bit of history to this particular tower. So this is basically where I kept some of my stuff, maybe not all, but some of it. And you can see that we're part of a larger tower here, and we have a system of trails going across to something else that we'll show you. And if you remember, I mentioned on the stream the other day that something near the new one reminded me of the Great Chasm. That is it. And so we used to take pot shots from here and shoot skeletons and creepers and stuff in there. So how's it going for you, Dyson?
It's good. I'm glad to be playing here again. I forgot what it looked like.
Yeah, it's really nostalgic. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look out over this. So some interesting stuff about this, and we'll just take you around, show you a tour of things, and why things are the way they are, and kind of what we had to do to get them here. So, yep, this is my room. You can see my clock, some chests, and all of that of just random stuff. And this is my dog. This dog's name is Slowpoke, and that is because I actually tamed Slowpoke miles and miles and miles away from here, and it took forever to get him back because I believe at the time I did it there was a bug with the teleporting of wolves, so they didn't follow you very well. And just so you know ahead of time, we do have cheats enabled for this particular run through, so that Dyson can keep it daytime for us so that we can actually show you things without having to wait through the nights and all of that unless we want to. So that's just a little bit of info there. So let's see. My first block of lapis. I remember when this stuff came in. And one of the other things you should know it rains constantly on this world. So this is the general look of everything. And you can see that Dyson is setting weather to clear. So that once again, we can just go through and not have to worry about rain sounds. If we come up one level, this is Dyson's room in the tower.
Yep, this is my room.
Would you like to show us around?
I have some cacti here. A red bed, the original type bed, my favorite.
Yeah.
We have some books, obviously.
Obviously.
Funky carpet, because that's my whole deal on this world. And then painting. And also have a view of my other house, which is the one on the left, all the way over there.
Yeah, so Dyson and Butterman have houses over there that were made after this. And you notice there's an awful lot of cobblestone and then the stone bricks and all of that. Hey, Prime Star. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Hi, Anne. Thank you for hopping on. We appreciate that. And so let's go ahead and go up here. And then this, I believe, was Butterman's room.
Yep.
Even though I don't think he ever stayed here.
No, he just has water in the chest.
He has 4 waters. Okay. So, yeah, that would be where he would have spawned over here. And once again, you have a view over on this side. That's an orchard. You can see rabbit, chickens. I guess that fits. Cow on top. You notice we are in a mountain biome.
And these were wet mountains.
There's a mountain missing. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. If we continue to hop up here, this was the washroom. And complete with an old school Minecraft shower. Yeah, the loo. So this is high-end stuff for when this was actually made. And it's like, oh, you know, the thoughts only went as far as, oh, we should put some glass in the top and all of that. So it's very different than the way that we would build today. And obviously, there's a little bit of primitive nature to all of this. And the reason being that this was one of the first things that we actually built. And I'm going to run down these places. We have like a little place here, and you could light these on fire for a fireplace. And empty chests, once again, with a good view of out there. This little divot was one of the few natural things that we have here. One of the few natural landscape features. And then if we go down, this is the entrance room to the tower. And, you know, lots of old pictures and all of that, along with my horse, Blaze. Number 1, we typically named our guys with numbers because you never knew. And here's all of his stuff. I got Blaze when horses first were added to the game, I believe. And then you can come out to the back here where you have a path to go into and take a look at the cavern itself. And it looks like there's nothing out there right now. And let's see. Yeah, the Dark Chasm. That's what we called it. So then in here, we have a little place where we would see if any of these actually work. No. I know we would get ready for battle and stuff here. Emergency food supply. Oh, good. There we go. So, once again, this was really early stuff. And the use of this place got deprecated over time. We're glad to have you here, Prime Star. So, let's go out and take a look at this little garden out here.
Wait, where did these guys go?
I'm not sure.
Weren't there like
we used to have donkeys tethered out here, and they'd just be chilling. But you know, maybe they just didn't make it with the updates and all of that. So I did find this as a server backup to the world, and this I believe was a natural waterfall, and so we just built this stuff around it, and obviously filled all of this stuff in to make a little pool. But if you take a look, you'll notice that this tower is in a kind of weird shape. And that's because it was actually, this is the second time it was built. This is generally the shape of the stone that was here when we got here. And so I built it out of cobblestone, and then shortly thereafter rebuilt it in the shape of what it was. Like I said, generally out of this stone brick. So I just wanted to make it look like it did when it was just a mountain there. And I believe over here, well, that was what passed for a doorbell at the time, back in the day. And yeah, so that was probably the first place we built when we came over here. So we had some place for everybody to stay, and some place to get all of our stuff ready. If we come over here, you'll find one of the things about where we're located is it's pretty unforgiving. And that's because everything underneath is like caverns. There's no place underneath here that is like clear or, you know, filled in place. Everything underneath is full of this. So all of these things were basically mob spawners for the entire time that we were here. Especially early on, maybe not so much towards the end, but these places we'd have mobs crawling out of these caverns and all that. So you see some over here, you see some over here, where they go back into things and all of that. It would be constant mobs coming out into here. And so going over this way, we have some stuff that we'll show you in just a bit, but you can see this building up on top here. That's the Great Hall, and we'll kind of show you around this stuff once we go and take a look on over here a little bit more. So you can see we did edging around here to make it look a little bit better. We dug out a stairway down to here, and if you notice, there's a lot of weirdness to the terrain generation. This whole thing here used to be a mountain, and it is no longer a mountain because Butterman and I tore it down. He would go with the TNT, and I would go clean up after the TNT, and we flattened out this entire place so that we could actually build stuff. So we have some crops up here, pretty standard stuff, you know. And I believe we were still using this even towards the end of our time on this world.
Yeah. I remember going through and it took so long to finish it.
Yeah. And you'll see there are a lot of railways. That's because we had like a little subway system to take us everywhere. Down here, I believe... Oh, okay. When you would do the crops, they would all come down here automatically and then go into these chests down here so that we would always have stuff available. And it looks like we must have cleaned up. But all the crops from all of these different rows of the farm would come down, obviously, and get taken to one place. So notice acacia wood. So we do have a savanna not that far away. And you also notice the spamming of the torches. That's because of the mob spawn mechanics that used to be part of the world. And I have no idea what this does. Oh. Look at this.
This is probably the Butterman doing this.
This does look like a Butterman thing. This apparently would dispense redstone, and this would dispense melon slices. And I don't know what this does. Oh, okay. So that's just the other side of this door. Cool. So there are a lot of little things like this all over the place. If we come over here... Hey, Jonathan, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, you like how everything is built into the mountains. We didn't have much of a choice, but yeah, it ended up working out in our favor, I think. Um, we come up here, we have something from very early on, which was a little tiny mushroom farm. So this is how we got mushrooms in the very early days. We've lit it up since, but this cave was dark and it was just right here. That would fill up with mushrooms and then we'd go in and harvest them. And so that was obviously really early game stuff. But this cavern in here was generally here, right? So we did as little damage to the world around this as we could. And I believe, yeah, here we go. You can come up to the top and there's a little picnic area. You can see the types of stuff that we would run around with generally. Oh, a grill. Some super old school Minecraft lounge chairs. This is probably from when all we had was oak wood. Yeah, so how's everyone's week going? Have you guys had a good beginning to your week? Do you have anything going on the weekend? Yeah, this brings back memories. Does this elicit any nostalgia for you guys? Even Dyson is flying around right now with the Elytra, or Elytra. When I think about the life cycle of this world, we haven't had it all that long. We've had it for years, but not all that long considering how long this place has been around. And looks like somebody had a picnic table with some cake. But this is a place that we could go and kind of look over the different areas. So if you take a look, we'll go over there and check that stuff in a minute. And there's actually a whole section beyond there. So Primestar is asking, the classic architecture style is such a lovely throwback. Yeah, it's so funny to look at. It's what passed for the different things. You really had to use your imagination. It's like using the, instead of using Lego, we were using Duplo blocks to do things here at that time. But yeah, we'll see a lot of stuff like this. And then you'll see some more modern looking stuff. But what version did this world start on? We believe it's either 1.3 or 1.4 based on the time. And 1.3 sounds familiar to me, but it very well could have been 1.4. Let's see. So I'm going to hop down here and we'll go over some of the stuff over on this side because underneath here is actually our first mine. And I'll take you through the orchard and we can just look at a few things like that. And I think there's some unfinished projects. And then we'll begin making our way over. We'll go over and check out the towers here. And then if you can see, there's like a little tower there and there's all sorts of stuff over on the other side. And you'll see that the architecture style and all that changes as you go along. So starting out with this really primitive basic stuff, and all of these rabbits, we had to bring them here.
I remember that. They kept on dying because they had to leap down mountains.
Oh, and you know what? Maybe, yeah, when we go over, we'll go ahead and take a look. You can see this map. This tells you where this will take you to.
Yeah, and you can see that the roads, we have like, if you come over here, we have different colored roads in the middle. So I think this was spruce. And we have different streets with different colors.
Yeah, and so we have a number of different little train stations here that will take us from place to place because you'll see as we go along, walking around this place takes quite a while. So let's go ahead and hop over here. And up this direction was our first, well, technically our second mine, but the first one was out in the middle of the desert. So it wasn't really anything. And I believe this is just a way to go and get over to where the desert is.
Oh, here's one of the donkeys.
Where did he go to?
Near the one acacia tree.
Yeah, and you can see these guys are here. The donkeys probably got away because there was a problem with they were always breaking the leads that they were on. So
It's
let's
here, right?
see. We had this place over here. Once again, super primitive Minecraft stuff. And then we had a place, I think this was the, here we go. Path to the desert inside here, the orchard mine. So stone shovels, that should tell you. And there's level 1. Okay, so this should look familiar to everybody. This is just a strip mine. And it goes and goes and goes, and I wouldn't even know what we were looking for here. But if we come back this way, you'll
the
find
desert's on the other side.
that it actually goes down, and below there's an exact duplicate of it. And then if you go down another level, there's a duplicate up, right? So this is where we started out our mining, and so this is where a lot of this stone and everything came from. But down there, we'll probably take that path to the desert when we go over there, or we might just take the railway. We'll see. But you can see over here we do have some dark oak that was imported. Obviously, here's a tree farm. So standard stuff, once again, going back. No automation on this. It's just you plant the things, and then you come and you hack them down. And we used a whole line of trees to make a partition, and this is where all of the wood that we used on this world pretty much came from. You can see that we brought some spruce over here. We actually brought acacia from the savanna, and then we had a few dark oak trees over here as well. So this is about as basic as it gets when it comes to how do you get wood on Minecraft. And then I believe this little place, there was something out here. I don't remember what it was, but we built this little outpost, and it was someplace that you could go and just chill if it became nighttime and all of that. So once again, I don't even remember when this was built, but you can see that the use of wool had started to creep into the design aesthetic. So Dyson, where are you?
I was just seeing if I remember anything in my house. It's a
Okay, we'll run over there in
disaster.
just a sec.
It's so bad. Where are you?
If you come down here, this is the original terrain, and we put that on top so we could put those things. And I believe down here was a place. Yeah. So I think this used to have lava in it. I'm pretty sure that that's what this was, is it had lava. I think there might have been more lava over this way. So, you know, obviously lava was a big deal, being able to have some of that. And you can see, once again, the weird terrain generation. So lots of very abrupt stops at this point in the terrain generation. Down over here, we have a bridge that leads over to what was our primary diamond mine. And you can start to see some of these other places that got built later on along the line, including Butterman's giant chicken that we all keep talking about. And we had to shut it down, and you'll see why when we get over there. But I remember this is the place that Dyson caught the very first magic bow on this world, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. So that's where she caught the bow.
It was a flame bow.
Yeah.
Which was really cool at the time.
You notice there are chickens running around. That's not an accident. But coming over here, once again, another place where we have some lounge chairs, and then to the diamond mine. And this, Yeah, diamond mine. You'll see is just a spiral staircase all the way down. And I don't even remember. I wouldn't even have a concept of how many diamonds we pulled out of this place.
A lot.
A very, very, very lot. Yeah. So you can see that this is just your typical strip mine with it goes in certain directions as far as it can without causing trouble. And so we would do smelting and stuff down here as well as we were going through stuff. You can see that one of the things that we used a lot of were stone picks. We would preserve at this point the iron picks because, you know, it's not like when you're really end game where iron isn't a big deal. We eventually, of course, made an iron farm and all of that, but at this point of the game, iron was a commodity. So we did most of this with stone utensils. And you can see where these things have these torches on the end. This is telling us not to go through there for whatever reason. It could have been lava, it could have been something else, but I believe down here, it's on one of these parts.
When you walk down some of these, you can hear the lava.
Yeah, so here you go. You can kind of see it here. And obviously we've been through all of this stuff up through there and everything. But I believe that there was a mine down here as well, like an abandoned mine. Okay, so that's not it. So, do you guys keep any of your old worlds? Have you, do you ever go back to them and, you know, kind of experience that nostalgia of seeing things that you did years and years ago? One of these, I'm sure one of these has a passageway into a place where maybe it's down here. Ah, here we go. So this then leads off into what I believe is a, yeah, so you can see it's an abandoned mine. And so we can go through there. There are spider spawners and all sorts of stuff in there. And so we won't go ahead. I'm sure you guys have all seen those locations before, but I believe that was the first one of those that we found on this world. So Prime Star, I don't have any of the files from my old worlds on PC. You'd think you still do on Xbox 360 though. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I found for this world, I found a earlier, and you can see that it goes on and on and on down there too. An earlier save of it, and we're gonna run back upstairs. So that had stopped on 1.12. And that was, I looked and it didn't have everything. So like certain things that I knew were there weren't there on that. So I went and I looked around at some other server backups and then found this version. I'm like, okay, it looks like everything's there. So we pulled this up. This was Butterman experimenting with stuff, I believe. Yeah, I think he was doing something over here that would make music, obviously, but I forget what the conditions were that was done.
He had a lever somewhere.
Started a process of making what we call the grandfather tree and never finished it. And we just got this husk done, and we were going to build inside and then obviously make the outside look more tree-like than it does here. Looks like Dyson already just flew up to the top. But this was some place that we were going to have stuff. Once again, you notice how far up we are. We do get snow all over everything. But this was going to give us the opportunity to go ahead and look out over the world from this type of setting. And You know what? I don't even know if I remember how to use Elytra. I jump off and hit space, right?
Wait, let me see. Yeah.
There we go. Cool. So if we come back over here, then... Oh, I kind of thought that was it. Oh, it's down here, actually. So, yeah, that project was never finished. Just the bare bones of it were. So, like I said, if we start coming down this way, then this was here as a barrier because of you guys.
And he doesn't even care. Look at him.
So, like I said, horses were... They were introduced, I guess, around the time that we really started building here. So I think we'd found this place first. Then I went on Horse Quest, got lost for a couple weeks, and then ended up being able to find my way back. But if you take a look at the world map of this world, which was in the preview thumbnail of it, you'll notice that there are all these tendrils going off in a long direction. And that the ones on the south are from Horse Quest, where I got lost. So they were a precious thing because they weren't over here naturally. And so when we got them, we put them in here to keep them safe from the mobs. And we actually used to have an iron golem in here called Rusty, but he would always get stuck, I believe, over here and die. And then we'd need another Rusty, and then he would die. So this is mostly the way it was when we found it. And so we just kind of hollowed out this cave a little bit. It was mostly like this. We just made it a little bit more symmetrical. And so, you know, left them some stuff in here, give them some place to get out of the rain. Not sure what this is. Once again, stone pickaxes everywhere. And so when we finally got rabbits over here, of course, we put them in here as well and bred them up. And yeah, so we had someplace we may find a pig named Cliff.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
reason he's named Cliff is because for the longest time, like years, he was stuck on a cliff right up here. And so finally we took him down and named him and then put him over to, I think we put him in with these guys over here. Hopefully he's still around. But this side then comes out into this area where you see we have sheep, and they'll be colored at any given time, whatever colors we were building with. We have the pigs and all of that. We have cows. And we always used to get creepers spawning over here as well. And then there were things like, once again, because we brought this, you know, we tore all this down. This was a mountain. We're left with all these weird caverns underneath. And so we had to explore so many caverns. And a lot of the place here, if you break down one block, like if I break the grass block, you're in a pit of death. But we always used to, you know, like this cavern over here was all natural. But this is where we got a lot of the food. I remember this was a natural cavern here that we just opened up a little bit more. And I believe this is, yeah, lemonade. Lemonade, mango smoothie, carrot juice, and bottled water. Ring bell for service.
What do you want?
May I have a mango smoothie, please?
I have water.
Yeah, bottled water's fine.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you. So, Minecraft doesn't even pretend. It doesn't even raise that up there like Ark does. Yeah. So you can see, you know, there were always projects to keep us busy with things. And if you notice this, gold nugget, we had an economy that was based on gold nuggets. And I totally forget how it worked and all of that, but here's another place where we brought flowers over from who knows where. And, you know, who knows when that happened. This is the sugarcane farm. And I believe this is it. This is like the entire sugarcane farm.
Yeah.
And we used to fish in this and try to get stuff from it. And I believe this is another train station. So this tells us if I go here, I'm going to end up in this place where you see the giant chicken. You know, I can see there's the horse pen. Well, not pen, but like the little racetrack. And looks like here's the animal hotel. And then over here are some buildings that we ended up, towards the end, we used this area a lot more than the others. But, yeah. And what is this? I'm not sure what this guy did to deserve this, but...
That's Butterman, that wasn't me.
Okay. So apparently Butterman put that bunny in a timeout for some reason. Butterman's coming by, says he's sure he deserved it. So, once again, this is all pretty natural. And let's see, what does that say over there? Beachside California Lake. Okay, so we probably put this here after we got our dog Callie.
That's our yellow Labrador. We have 2.
Yes, and they are very famous and world-renowned. You'll notice there are different places where we're growing stuff, like having just these little farms for different types of seeds and stuff. And then over here, this is where Butterman's tower is and Dyson's tower. So let's go in through here. Yeah, get ready for this. So we'll go inside. Ham chop one. In Butterman's place, I would expect a really random assortment of stuff because he was always doing projects and, of course, TNT. Yep. That's his... Oh, what's that from? And I believe he had a ton of dogs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they used to be yours, right?
Let's see. What's that? Stinky.
And
Number
there's
2.
Little Stink.
Little Stink. Smelly. I'm sensing a pattern. And looks like this is the TV. So, yeah, if you guys take a look, this is old school Minecraft television set.
I think it's on the first floor. I do not know how to enter it. It might be that button. It might be the fireplace.
I remember that.
Yeah, press the button. There's a door here.
I think that's my safe.
No, your safe doesn't have a...
Let's see. Apparently that's Butterman's new bow. And then in here, who knows what this area was for. But lots of glass. Let's see, over here. Oh, hello there. You are not looking very good, my friend. So apparently a golem lives in here. I wonder if that has anything to do with how to open stuff up.
The carpet
But
goes here.
Let's go ahead and we'll trot up to the second level. Oh yeah, there's a little diner in here. Who wouldn't be? Yeah, I think you're right, Prime Star. And yes, that is a lot of doggos. So a little diner. Looks like that's where stuff would be made. Let's see what's over on this side. You get a better view of some of the things out here. You can see that, like Dyson was saying, it's kind of in different districts. And you can see there's a villager out there. This is the only villager we have in this part of the world. we do have other villages that we built up and made safe. And yeah, snowy and icy. These are Butterman's pet golems.
There'll be a lot of like 9-year-old spelling and grammar.
Yeah, so like we said, this has been here. Spider Eye. Not sure what this room was. Wait, wasn't this... There was... I think there was something that... There was a music thing here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure... Okay, that... You know what? That redstone we found out there? That was a music machine. And I forget what it used to do. But I think part of it got taken off. So then if we continue up, we will find a dining room. I think Butterman was the first of us to actually play around with redstone. So those might have been some very early things, first learning it. This looks like a little kitchen area. Yep.
Of course, with eggs.
Yeah, eggs. You guys wait. Eggs and snowballs. Those are probably there because I know there is a thing on the top of Butterman's tower here that shoots stuff as it goes by. And you love doggos? Yes, very much. And yeah, there was music playing earlier. There are jukeboxes in a lot of different areas. Looks like a little personal nether garden here. And okay, there's that. And I think you get there by going through here. Right, so this goes out to a terrace where you can see we're getting a little more sophisticated with the lounge chairs. But you can take a look here. We actually, over there, if you see all that green, that's an Angry Birds game. We brought some mushrooms over, which if we actually make it out to the Mushroom Island, you'll see how big a deal that is. Because it's, I don't know if it's 10,000 blocks away, but it might be. And once again, that's where, I think that guy's name was Smith. Because he sold tools that we wanted. And so we brought him over here. Then if we look over there, we'll go take a look at all of those. And that is Butterman's tower. I'm starting to remember what these things are. That building had some significance, the wooden building there. But that is Butterman's chicken farm there. And from here, you can see we have some horse stables down here. So let's go ahead and scoot back down and we'll see.
You're missing still quite a bit of my house.
Yeah, there's another level.
Let's see, yeah, I thought I was moving slowly. Okay, so let's go ahead and go up. Oh, yes. This is where... So, here's the top, and, no, it doesn't look like it's full right now. So, nothing to worry about here, but this would be full of eggs or whatever. And to start firing them down there, creating chickens and other stuff. Yeah, I don't know what that was up there, but lots of banners. And a hidden bed. You can see off there the Mojo Dojo. We'll go and visit that sometime quickly. Let's see. Let's hop up here and see. Yep, looks like another way to get other places. Dyson's going to go and take a trip across and then tell us where it goes to.
Goes to my house.
And it goes to Dyson's house. So let's go ahead and hop down here and see what is up here. Okay, redstone. Normally, if you have redstone on something that is Butterman's, especially if it goes into something like this, that's all about shooting stuff.
Eggs.
Yeah, so mini egg machines. And we'll just hop down from here. So over here, you can see that we do have access to prismarine and things like that. Okay, so this leads you down into that place, but let's go and go over to Dyson's first. A little walkway that you could go through. And these barriers and stuff, they were actually put here to stop mobs. Because we did get a lot of mob spawns.
I thought they were there for my sound dogs. I used to like free range.
No. We would get stuff spawning up there and coming down into Dyson's place. So, if we take a look here, that's Colonel Sanders, which was Albert Jr. There was a chicken named Albert. Did Albert
Yeah. Albert died.
Oh. So, yeah, Albert apparently died.
Then we have the doggies.
Lots of random stuff around here. Okay, so this is Dyson's tower. Dyson, would you like to introduce us to your people?
There's a theme here. Fall, harvest, winter, summer, leaf, spring, slushy, and snow.
Prime Star, hopefully the egg machines don't overtake Darby World 3.0. I guarantee they will.
They will. This is from the Butterman, apparently.
So as we started going into the end, didn't you do potions or something over here?
Yeah, and then I think the Butterman, or something happened with my brewing stand. And then we have a Christmas tree.
Yep.
I think my house is it's full of disorder. Worse than his.
You were not very old when you were doing this.
No, and then we have the rabbit room.
Where's
You
the
see this?
vanishing?
Oh,
Dragon head. So, yes, the Ender Dragon died. Oh, yes.
yeah.
This was to keep the bunnies safe. This is a bunny room, and bunnies get out and go everywhere. So you can see that Dyson was concerned about keeping them safe and secure.
Yeah, one already got out, so don't.
If we come over here, another little dining place.
And look at the windows here. It's a smiley face. Right here.
Oh, right. So it's a smiley face from the outside and from the inside. And then this is kind of like a little spider or crab. You can see these vines out here. We would harvest them occasionally. I don't know if Butterman knew that, but there were vines all over every place. Let's see, we have banners, and there's a way down. This, I think, was your bedroom, yes?
This was my bedroom. I don't know what I have in here. Lots of
And
cake, though.
bathtub. Old school.
Then, let's see.
And yeah, the bunnies would get out and go everywhere. So I think that Dyson was responsible for most of the bunnies on the server.
And then, as you can see, my carpet is spectacular.
Yeah.
Everything's everywhere. And then you can see this, apparently, Albert did die, so.
Yeah, I remember. I'm remembering now. That looks like money. Flowers. Yep. And, oh, and actually, I'm starting to remember. This room here. I would usually sleep over here until we built this other place down there, because this was closer to where we were doing the work. And I think this is your...
Safe.
Yeah, so... Everybody had a safe. So let's go ahead and hop out this way. Yeah, vines. They grow, right? can see some horses, Rocket, Clover, and we'll run around the other end to say hi to the others. But once again, this kind of goes down, and we try to make everything simple to get to, right? And you can see that now we're starting to build with nether stuff and using different kinds of wood, and things are becoming, not as primitive, but still not, miraculous builds and all of that. I'm sure that you old school people have seen this type of lamp millions of times. So if we come around the side here, yeah, there's a little grotto in there. This is where the horses were. And let's see, Samson the second. Beauty. Excuse me. Come closer, please. Maybe it just doesn't have a name.
I did not name my horses.
Okay, so Butterman didn't name his horses.
No, this one has a name. Lucky. There's Lucky and
Let's see
something
what
else.
we've got over here. Buttercup and Clover. And what's up there? So, you can see that we have all the tack and everything out here too. I believe that's what's in these places. Lots of banners everywhere. Yeah, so golden apples to breed the horses and everything. I believe that's what it used, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if they changed it. But back then you needed golden apples to breed horses.
This looks strangely like an arena.
Which one?
And I believe this is...
That's my fault.
Yeah. Chorus fruit. Apparently Butterman spent a lot of time in the end. Cool. Now what do I do?
It's on the floor.
There we go. Cool. So one of the other things you'll see is you'll see on here the progress of redstone and how it was used and things like that. And yeah, Primestar says it's fascinating seeing the integration of newer features into the buildings over time as they got added. Right. So as something would be added, we would go, oh, well, let's go ahead and use that. And when it was technological, Butterman was very often the first one to do it. So down here we made a little place for the horses.
It was a racetrack.
And you could set up here once again pretty early on. More chickens. So and we would come down here and race the horses, and they would be, yeah, they'd be going really quickly around that thing. So this, you could take a look at it from down here. So this area, found dog, if yours, go to the pet hotel. Okay, so we'll take a look at the pet hotel next. This was a game. It was a fishing game, and I forget what the rules were and what it was. But we did build some games around here to play. If we go here, doghouse. Obviously, it's a doghouse. I do believe there were dogs in here at one time.
Mine were.
Maybe this was pre-pet hotel. And then over here, this was like a little garden that was built. So you can see that started getting different types of flowers and all that. So we would have to go and, go out a million blocks to find a new place that hadn't been generated in the world, because the world was, had gone through so many updates over time. And so we would always end up going out and getting the new stuff and trying to bring at least some representation of it back. Oh, and I said that other place was the only sugarcane. This also we used. Down over here, this was the chicken farm. And we would come in here and get lots and lots of chickens. So I'm pretty sure you know what that's for. Let's see. Yeah, not very many eggs. But at a certain point, it was easier because you didn't have the ability to feed baby animals food, right? So you just have to wait for them to grow into adults. And so what you would do is, let's say you had a bunch of chickens over there. You'd go and you'd pick up a stack of 64 seeds, and then you would go through and feed all your chickens and just keep putting the cursor on them and feeding the stuff until that was gone. And then you would know that you would have produced, out of the 64 seeds, you would have produced 32 new chickens. So you could cull 32 of the adults and still have the same amount. But then they made it so that you could feed baby animals whatever their parents ate in order to make them age up. And so it made that a little bit more cumbersome. But that's kind of the way we used to do it over here. I remember one time coming along here, and I was coming by, and a creeper had spawned right here and was kind of blending in. And I was like, whoa, And I don't know why that just came to mind, but I remember running by there and there was a creeper. This is the kitty house. And no kitties?
I think we moved all the pets at some point.
I'm pretty sure we did. This is an armor store or a clothing store.
The laundry, I think.
Oh, is it the laundry? Oh, yes, it is the laundry, because you put stuff in and you pull the thing, and then it gets washed and it comes down and shows up there. Let's see. Is this where it shows up afterwards?
Maybe. I don't know. The Butterman did it.
Yeah, but I remember this actually worked. So, this is when Redstone was getting a little bit more sophisticated, and when they put armor stands in the game, and colored leather. I'm pretty sure that when colored leather showed up, that's when that went in there.
Yep.
Coming over here, this is Butterman's Tower. You can see that it's made of different types of stuff, and it used to be full of magic books. And, so it goes up there, just lots of different colors. And then there's a little place down below where this is where all of the brewing was done. So, yeah, the laundromat. That's right, Prime Star. And we did enchanting and stuff down here as well. So you notice tons and tons of lapis. We have water sources for the bottles and everything for here. Hey, I wonder what's... Apparently nothing is in my ender chest. Splash potion of poison. Crossbow. So no telling what was going on and being done in this place when we stopped going here. Looks like ingredients for different types of potions. What's that one? Water breathing. Yeah, water breathing was a big thing. You'll find out why as we move through. We did some pretty big scale underwater projects. So that is Butterman's place. This was a game, and it was a chicken game.
Chicken racing.
Yeah, I don't remember how it worked.
Like you get the seeds, they're in here.
Yeah, and you would bring your chicken over, and it would tell you whether you won or lost. But so I kind of feel like going the other direction is what was done, but this was some type of game that was yeah, and there are seeds that was put together at some point. I remember doing it. I just don't remember what it was. This is our netherwort farm. Over here, if you look, there are a lot of chests. And you're probably noticing a pattern. This is from AFK fishing. On this world, we do have an AFK fishing farm. We'll take you over to see that. It would not work anymore in the current version. But Butterman built this parkour course to practice that. And yeah, so that's cool. If we go over here, this is where Dyson made her found dog, made her pet hotel. So looks like this is where, yeah, and look, money. So I think we had to pay to leave our pets here.
Yeah. This was the found dog. Is it yours?
Not mine. No, that
It's
must
not
be
mine.
Butterman's. However, I do believe, yeah, chicken. This one's mine. Man, I must owe you so much money.
Chirp is yours too, right?
And Chirp is mine. Yeah, so I had my dogs hanging out in the luxurious pet hotel. And I believe... yeah, there's a little place for them to play and stuff out back. So... it's kind of funny how much imagination you had to put into things at different times. And there were these mailboxes everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Because we used to leave notes in them.
yeah. And let's see, I believe this is Butterman's bakery. So yeah, cakes. Probably tons of stuff over here. Let's see. Of course, maybe that's what Butterman needed all the eggs for originally.
That's what I'm thinking. I built the chicken so close for it, and that started something that would become far greater.
Yeah. And you can see back here, this is where he'd get some of the ingredients, at least in the story, right? And he could cook stuff back here. I forget how much stuff cost, but oh, here, bread $1, pumpkin pie $1, 3 cookies $1, cake $2. So there was that, and here, oh, rabbit. So this then is the chicken. So I forget what I was doing, but one day I'm walking around and I got done doing something and I come over and there's a giant chicken there. And it was the funniest thing because nobody had built anything like this on this world yet. And so there's a giant chicken with a top hat. I did not know that it was a functional chicken, that it was a device. And we'll go take a look at that. And I believe it's been shut off because we couldn't keep up with it. It was producing too many eggs and chickens. So, yeah. This is the blacksmith. So it's a tool shop. And basically, if you remember, I talked about having lots and lots of stone picks and all that because that's what we used. And this is where they would be. And we'd have iron things in here. So when this was made, iron was a commodity. And, okay, so here's the wither sword. And looks like that's a wither sword as well. So you'll notice we did our fair share of exploring. This would be stuff that we would come back with. Enchanted book. What are those? Oh, probably going to put that on something. So in here, this is the shop. This is where the employees only, where things would be done. So that was for ice. We actually have an ice farm up on one of these mountains. Maybe that one over there. And what's this one? Not sure what that would be. But looking through here, this is where we would, okay, so that was probably the first fortune pickaxe, because now, we would have much higher level ones of those. Lots of name tags, just from going through and finding them. So we actually used these places early on to make stuff. And they just stuck around over time.
Also, just saying, don't go into the chicken. I got stuck, so I had to teleport.
You got stuck in the chicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that means you go into the chicken.
Yeah, I went into the chicken.
That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. So don't do that.
So
Also, check if there's any speed potions in that dispenser. Little chamber right there.
oh, right.
I got a raw cod. It's just a bunch of
It's a
fish.
fish chamber now. Oh, man. So this place here, our cactus farm, we'll leave this for just a little while and look at some other things, because this isn't what it actually looks like. It may look like an ordinary produce shop, but it's not. If we come down here, ninja skills. So this was a training area where you had to pick up the training stuff, and I think you paid Butterman to train you in combat in here. So once again, this is pretty early on. You notice, oh yeah, and Butterman did have a lot of golems all over the place, and it was because we did have a mob problem. And so they would actually attack mobs as they went by and all of that.
Didn't ninja skills lead into the creation of the Mojo Dojo?
It did.
Yeah.
So following that, the Mojo Dojo was made. And maybe we should go over there and take a look. And it's funny because in my mind, this place was so much farther away. Because here's a continuation of that chasm. And I remember that the first time we encountered silverfish, it was down here in these places. Yeah, and I remember that being a pretty dangerous area down there. We dug through there a lot. Oh, yeah. And you would flip the thing. Are these...
It might be on a timer.
That was a jump scare.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
goodness.
training facility.
Oh.
And
Approximately how many beacons does this place have? A lot.
so you can see that this is where we would pay to train, and Butterman would help us get better with our combat skills. So there's that, and you know, this was done, once again, a long time ago, but it looks like we had access to Prismarine at the time. And let's check this other side just to make sure that, yeah. And so whenever we'd build something, we'd have to dig out more of the mountains. So a building project was not just a building project. It was you had to mess with terrain. Let's see what's up here. So just a way to look down over things. We have been all through all of this, and you know, there are things underground here and all of that, but you can get a kind of an appreciation for what's over here. But I remember that this really felt like it was a long way away.
I
So-
know. Like, we were in a central area, like near the Great, whatever, like the Great Hall for a very long time. And we were more desert people.
We kept the dirt and cobble outside because there was so much of it, because we were always tearing stuff down. If we come over here, this was actually, I think, probably the first really big project we did.
It took so long. The amount of sand we had to use for all this glass.
So this is the one place that we actually, so this world is a obviously a survival world. So everything you see here is legit. We had to go and get the pieces and all of that, except for one thing. And Dyson might be demonstrating, we did spawn in some eggs for different mobs, and it was just because we wanted to press a button over here and have the mob show up over there so that we could fight them. Yeah, so Addison just spawned in these guys, and we'd come out here and we'd, play games. So this was the arena. And Butterman and I spent, I don't know how long, we tore up so much of the desert that's over on the other side of this mountain to make all of this glass. It took forever because we were still in the Stone Age when we did this.
You've got an iron farm behind you.
Yeah, there's an iron farm there that was made much later. But we were, as you can see, this is all cobblestone and everything. We were really in the Stone Age when we made all this stuff. And so getting all that glass took absolute ages. And what you would do is you'd come down here, people could watch, and you would set your spawn. Then you'd come over, and that's where Butterman was. This was for me. You know what I'm going to do? When I actually spawned into this world, I was in the end, if you can't tell. So, yeah, I'm going to just dump this stuff in here. And then you would get your stuff, and there were rules. Usually it was just wooden swords. And yeah, these are the eggs that we spawned in to get all of this. And so that was the one thing we did that was cheaty here. So click for a blaze, click for a spider, click for a skeleton, click for a zombie. And, as you're seeing, there's your guy. And of course you do the fighting at night. And I remember being out here and just getting mauled by all these guys coming. And I think Dyson would come up here in the tower and be shooting, doing air support for us and everything. But yeah, this was a lot of fun up here. So let's see, Prime Star, approximately how many beacons does this place have? I actually have no idea. Do you have any idea, Butterman?
I remember we killed a few withers.
Yeah, I remember the first time we fought a wither, we were very underwhelmed.
Yeah, I ended in like 22nd hit.
Yeah, we had a, this is the box office. So Stan's $1, luxury box $2. Just always going for the immersion here. And this island here, the Sky Island, that was here when we got here. So this is a natural one. And if you fly up there,
Should be a carrot farm.
There's a carrot farm up here.
let's see, where is it? There we go. There's a carrot farm. But this was here before, so the wacky terrain generation of the early versions. And that was a lot of glass for us at that time. But how many beacons? I don't know. There's one there. That might have been the only beacon we ever made.
No.
We've made
We've made way
Did we?
more.
I know we killed a bunch of withers, but
They're near the fishing place.
Yeah. Near, like, what, the Scurvy Dog?
oh, do you think one's over there? If you see, there's more stuff over in that direction. If you see that building over there. So let's go ahead and hop down here real quick. So as we move through the timeline, we start getting into things like this. When you end up with tons and tons and tons of fish from your AFK fishing, and it looks like this was here. I believe this was here simply to produce wool for us building things out here. But we have a system here where, let's see what we have. So if I take this salmon, for instance, I believe if I throw that in there, Okay, so that will go down there. Let's see, do we have... Okay, we have tons of stuff here. Eventually, that is going to all cook up. And if the redstone still works, it will show up here, and this light will go on and tell us that we have stuff, right? And let's go ahead and get rid of this. We'll just restock. So when you have tons and tons of fish, then you need to have a way to do it. So we did have this automated farm, and it looks like stuff is being sent up there right now. So I'm sure you guys have seen these types of smelters before. So once again, this is something, you know, it was built a long time ago, but it was, you know, maybe the last half of what we did down here. And so they go back and forth when they get something, and they distribute evenly between here, and then that actually takes it up into here, which shoots everything up into these places so that it can show up here. Light turns on, it says, hey, here's your fish. So you'll see the fish should start showing up as we're standing here. So we basically just take a bunch of fish. Yeah, it doesn't... Okay, so we must have gone fishing at some point not that long ago, and dump it all in there, and then come back a little while later and it's all done. And so we built this kind of like 3 different little huts of different colors, like little tents. And so that's there, and that's where we did our fish farming. What was that flash? Why do I have particles? Oh, I'm under the effect of the beacon. I'm not sure why this little guy was here.
It was from Easter. It was an egg.
Oh, it was an egg. Cool. We would do events on this place. Llamas became a thing at one point. And so we went and got llamas and brought them back. Long trip. We figured llamas would like rocks and all that. Mushrooms. So, you know, we did make a little place so that we could look around and see out all the different directions. So once again, just trying different things as the game progressed. Jonathan, $2 for a cake seems like a good deal. It does. You certainly wouldn't get it for that time, for that much these days. And yeah, the dedication to the economy, prices is inspiring from Prime Star. So yeah, and we would carry, I don't know, am I carrying any gold? Maybe in one of these tickets. That would have been for something. If you notice the chicken, we'll go ahead and show you this now. The chicken's legs splay out to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not sure why that was, but it looks hilarious to me. And that's blocked off. So we'll go, you know what? We'll go up the chicken first.
No. You're gonna get stuck.
Am I?
Yes. You can
Okay.
go in this way, though.
So the chicken does have inside, and things come down.
Things are flaming. Did you see that when you walked in?
Yeah. We would get rid of these things again and again and again, and I kept making more and more chests, and as I would make the chests, they would fill up. So, that's when we decided that we had to shut down the chicken project. So they'd come here, we'd move them over from here to another chest and all of that. And so this chicken has been shut down and not operational for a long, long time. Let's see what we've got up here. I'm not going to get up there, am I? Okay, so we'll put that there. Let's see. Okay. Hello.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, you can't get out of that.
You don't want to go in there.
You can just teleport to me. It's okay.
Are there any chickens in there still?
No.
Okay. So, anyway, the chickens would be in here, and they would be laying eggs, and the eggs would go down. And... yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get out of there. Thank you, Dyson. Didn't stuff used to spawn in here?
Yeah, there's something up with the head. Know that.
There is a torch in here.
There's a torch.
Yeah. I think creepers spawned in there. But that is the chicken. And this was done so early in the game. Hilarious. And it was just too efficient. And I think that's what started the obsession with chickens and chicken farms. These used to house golems. So snow golems that would attack things that would come by. You notice that we don't have anything stopping spawns out here. These guys would just kill them. But they've apparently despawned. We started building some houses over here at some point. And so a little bit more modern. I guess we hadn't filled them in yet. But definitely had the... I remember building these actually.
Me too.
Yeah. Isn't there a garage? Yeah. So here's the garage. So I think when we did this, I then got distracted by the Guardian Temple. And kind of left these... we finished the husk, but didn't finish the insides or anything like that. So you can see here, it's kind of just a variation on the same type of theme. Has a little second... What is this music?
It's
Oh, it's this music
the
machine.
Butterman.
Yeah, one of Butterman's contraptions. So you can hear it playing a nice song. Then let's see, over here, looks like a mini chicken farm.
I think that was after regulations were put in place for chicken farms. I made that.
That makes sense. So let's see. Yeah. Over here, we did bring this dude over. And his name was Smith, I believe. Because he did trading with us. This is what we wanted. Is he got to the point where he would do the diamond pickaxes and all of that. And this was before, you know, big villager farms and all that, trading posts and were really a thing. And so we made him a nice house so that we didn't feel so bad by locking him in here and making it so that he could never leave. Yeah, so... Chat, what was your first experience with villagers once they made the change to make them have the trades and all that interesting stuff? I don't remember what this is. Oh, it's a food. This shoots out food constantly, if I remember correctly.
I think it has Butterman wiring
Yeah.
in it.
So
Give it a flip.
let's go ahead and see.
I wonder if... Flip it one more time. Oh. I bet something was done to the redstone because of how fast it was.
Probably true. I just remember that thing spewing out tons of food. So let's see. There is a little space fighter jet thing up there that Butterman made. We do have more sheep over here that are just producing wool, and they were probably producing wool for this game. So we do have an Angry Birds game, which might give you an idea of when this was made. So over here, I think those were materials for making it. But you would take shots at these different targets. Probably not the best one to use, but you get the idea. And we would be able to keep score and all of that neat stuff. I'm just going to defire that. So, yeah, we'd make our own little mini games and all of that stuff. And I remember one of the things we were going to do is go out into the ocean and make maps that we could put up here with the different numbers and everything of that. And I believe spawning was a problem out there too. This whole world is a mob spawner. There's a giant chicken, or a giant cake in the sky. There's a rainbow. And let's see if we go over here. This used to be a very mountainous area until we tore it down. And I remember that there used to be a lot of dangerous stuff over here. We do have the swamp there, but if I remember correctly, there is a cavern over here someplace. Let's see. Okay, so there's something there. There are tons and tons and tons of caverns and everything all over this area. And I don't see how to get there, so probably not a big deal to go down. It was a natural cavern, and it just went deep into the bowels of the earth there. But, yeah. So, I guess the weekend is coming up. Do you guys have plans? Chat for this weekend?
Well, I think all I'm going to do is summer school, coursework. It's always fun.
Yeah, yep. Just like you've been doing, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and we'll try out, just looking around real quick. That looks like all the interesting stuff here. We were making a Mega Mart. And so if you wonder where, so a little more sophisticated on the redstone side. This is where we started putting the books that we would end up with. So for swords, mining, helmets, fishing. Fishing was a thing. Not anymore, it's not. So let's see, armor. So fire protection and all that. Boots, bows. Excuse me, emergency sneeze button. So, all of these things used to be in Butterman's tower. And so obviously we were running out of space. And so we made this. And this was a giant mob spawner as well. But we... Oh. Speaking of mob spawning. You watch them start showing up. They'll show up over here, actually. In this area. So the idea was to make this like a museum and library. And once again, I don't think that we finished this project, obviously. But, sir? An armor stand. Oh, right here? Oh, right.
Yeah, that was me experimenting for my secret base, which is so secret you don't know where it is. It's somewhere in my house.
It's somewhere in Butterman's house. So, there will be lots of contraptions like this throughout the world where, you know, as different concepts kind of showed up on the scene, we would play with them and all of that. And here we go. Peace out, spider. Let me go ahead and close this so that... Cool. Dyson, where did you move off to?
I'm on the mushroom.
Oh, there you are. It's a beautiful night. Look
Oh,
at that.
oh, wait, yeah, sorry. I got an email. So I
So
had to
this would have been the first
respond.
beacon that we made. So
What's the jump boost? Like speed.
I probably liked hopping around.
Yeah.
So
I
let's go
changed
ahead,
it a
and
few
this
minutes
is one of
ago.
the train stations here.
Back
And we'll
to
go
where it
ahead and
was.
use it to get to, yeah, you'll see stuff burning over there, to get to one of the other places. So once again, this is where you wait for your train and everything. This tells you where you're going to end up. So let me grab this part. And away we go. So you can see these are the natural caverns underground. We decided to show them rather than hide them. Yeah, Crime Star, so many books, so much knowledge, right? We did most of the tracks like this with the activator rails on either side so that it would just work both ways without having levers and stuff all over the place. This is a natural cavern underneath. Actually, I better get out of this so that Dyson doesn't have to worry about it if she's coming through. But this is just underneath here. Like, literally, if I broke this block right here, I'd fall into that cavern. And so we made it so that you could see all of those things. So then, I guess if I just take this and put it here, this will take us to the next stop. So, I remember going through here having to fight stuff on this all the time.
I remember when the road starts. It was like a big project. I wanted to do it out faster.
Yeah.
So
Way before the elite drug.
So, there we go. And you always put them back. And so now we're all the way back over at that first tower. So, you know what? I think the best thing to do is for me to go back over that way. This does go out and go into, I believe, the desert that way. So that goes a long way. And we did start to build roads and everything to all different places in the world. And we did that because everything was so far away. Right? We didn't really have a choice. And
Oh,
hello there.
hi.
And Elytra kind of changed the game for us. Cool. So I'm going to actually go back through. There we go. And so all of these are caves we had to explore and clear out. And that was before we were building this stuff. All right, and there used to be someplace over here that you could hear something. I don't remember what it was, but some mob or something was stuck someplace, and you'd go through there and always hear them. Just a little memory. I don't know if Butterman, if you or Dyson remember any of that. Well, you know what? I'm gonna...
I remember something, but I don't know what it was.
So then if we look here, if we leave on this rail, this is the area that we'll show up in. So I think that's probably the best place to go next. Excuse me. Beep beep.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Cool. So you can see kind of the evolution of stuff over time. And as we go this way, I think you'll see more of it. This stuff was pretty early on as well. Horses actually started to get out and go around and start, you know, moving out into different areas. But then this is... not sure why there's a cake there, but this is an area where... so that shows you go back to that area. What does this say, actually? Train station orange. Oh, okay, yeah, we did different colors for the different train stations. And then from here... oh, this does take us out. We'll go there next. This was a fishing lodge that we made. So, fish, 1 sand, salmon, 2 sand. So this is when sand was the commodity, apparently. Prime Star says, minecarts deserve an update. They've been untouched for so long. I tend to agree. And so we would come out here, and you can tell how old this is by what it's made from, and go out on this, and there didn't used to be fish like this back in those days. It was just water, and you would throw your fishing rod in and hope for something cool to come up. Oh, they did, didn't they? Yeah, that seagrass or whatever it is.
It probably has spawning conditions, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. I remember making this too, and you know, trying to make everything kind of structurally make sense. So we did a lot of this stuff where we would have those posts going down, you know, and at the time thinking, okay, well that's, you know, that's being pretty realistic and all of that. This leads.
Is that for the fireworks?
It is for the fireworks. So this whale over here has a fireworks show. I doubt there are any in it.
There are not.
But we made the scurvy dog here. And that is this ship. And so I believe I click here to go in. And this is a restaurant. And so,
I remember making those.
yeah. So you could order food and the food would come up to you automatically. And so this is someplace like you'd go and you'd sit here and
Wait. Look at
I
this.
wonder if anything's set up to actually come over.
But you press that button to send it back to the kitchen.
Oh, the kitchen has to send it to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Come upstairs.
I think that you're just able to walk in sand and bush the cart by walking down. Oh wait, no, there's a button. There's one button there.
Right. There, I see it. There we go. And so that would then lead up here. Oh, nighttime. You can get your food and then send it back to the place. And of course, you can take a look. Marine probably had just come out when we did this. There's obviously a lot of oak wood involved here. And that sounds like we have fireworks going off. So here's the crow's nest up here. Yep.
We had prettier fireworks last time, but
Yeah, you would make... Oh. Really? Bring it, dude. These guys didn't used to exist. But yeah, we haven't slept in quite a while, I guess. Where are you? Yeah, he's gone now. So we probably should sleep. But up here, this is where you get to control the thing. And I'm sure that anybody who's an old school Minecrafter recognizes this little setup here. I think everybody did their ships like this back in the day. But we do have the white whale out here. And like Dyson was showing you, it does have the ability to shoot fireworks up, and that you get to from, let's see, let me hop it down this way. You actually get over to him going through here. So we needed a way to access the whale without, you know, having to go swim and all that stuff. And you can see that down there, more caverns. So it's kind of funny. Now caverns are a big thing in the new versions of Minecraft, and everybody's like, oh yeah, the caves and cliffs and all that stuff. And we had it here from the very beginning. And I don't remember how to get to that place, but let's see. It might be over on this side. Nope. Anyway, there's a way to get up there and actually administer the stuff. And I think we were running a line over to the scurvy dog, to the ship, to actually be able to have it, you know, press a button there and then have those things show up. But I don't believe we ever finished that part of the project. There are a lot of unfinished projects here. So what I'm going to do is grab this and then we'll keep going. So chat, any questions? What are the types of things that, what do you see here that reminds you of stuff that you used to do? And so we do have an underwater tunnel here. I remember this took a long time to do. I believe we did it when we were, there goes Dyson, when we were using just stone pickaxes and stuff like that. So this brings us over to this area. And so let's go ahead and put this here. Looks like a lot of people have come over here. Once again, we have that shows what you'll end up at if you go through in this direction. Then out of here, of course, it was boats. And boats you could take all the way over there. And if you're wondering, yes, there is stuff even over there. Let's see. Probably the best thing. There are some more things over there. Like we have an old school iron farm and all of that that really helped us out. Obviously, this is the swamp. And this is actually where we found the first dungeon. And it was partially exposed. And we didn't really know what it was because it was so early in the game. And I just remember having it such that the zombies just kept coming out of the place. And we thought it was pretty cool that out of that we were able to find, I think there was like a saddle or horse armor or something like that. But we were pretty terrified of all the zombies coming up because the way they were coming out of this hole. And I remember that being a big deal. So what we can do is, why don't we start running off this way and we'll move over to some of the other stuff. So, I mean, I guess we can fly. It'll probably load things in pretty quickly. So we may get a bunch of lag here. So no promises on how well this will go. And yes, all of this stuff that you're going to see was found on foot. Right? This is not... Elytra did not exist when we found this. So, what are you seeing? You're seeing a big break in the terrain, right? So let me go up here. So when we talk about the changes in generation, in the terrain generation, that's why we have these artifacts. Well, it looks like somebody built a little observation place up there. You see a ladder going all the way up there. Kind of rings a bell. I don't remember everything we did here, though. And so you see that this obviously used to be mountains, and then at some point they changed the terrain, and the seed then generated water here. And that was probably when they did the Guardian update. But we do have... Dyson, are you flying around still?
Nope. I'm where the thing is.
Okay.
The village.
We do have a place over here. You can see that we did use this for sand a lot. There used to be much more here, but we used it. And so, of course, we had to have a little outpost. We have outposts all over this world. And this is where we would have our stuff. Let's go ahead and do that. So, once again, 3 beds so that everybody would be able to sleep. And then you'll see down here was the first Guardian temple we found. And let's... Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to swim through. Probably the fastest. So we built this little place here. where we could be relatively safe. And so we would stay over in this place, which I believe it was initially a village, right? Is that right, Dyson?
What?
This was like a broken village or
It was,
something.
yeah. So
And
we
so
basically took control of it.
It was back when they would generate in really weird ways. And so we just took it over. I don't think the villagers lasted very long at all. Not because of us, but villagers can be dumb. And so from here, we had over here a place where we could do our AFK fishing, if I am correct. So where would we go? Okay, yeah. So here's from stuff from those AFK fishing expeditions, right? So you can see where all the books and all the fish and all that stuff came from. Wonder if there are any good ones in here. Sharpness 3, Smite 4, Frostwalker 2. But we would set up, and what does this say? Launchpad Mark II. Oh, okay, yeah, this was someplace where you could you would hit something and then it would launch you up and you could fly away. Everyone is welcome. Pure, fresh, whatever junk. Book chest if you have something. Let's see. Okay, so this is where you would set up, and you would cast your fishing line into here, and it would trip that, and you would basically set it so that your fishing pole was constantly casting by changing over your binding for that to a key on your keyboard, and you'd put a weight or something on your keyboard, and you'd walk away, and so your dude would just keep casting there, and then it would fill up that stuff that we went and saw down there. So that's the way AFK fishing was done. And I'm not sure what these are about. Oh.
Did you figure out the...
Right, this was the landing pad. So when we'd come in hot with the elytra,
look at
we'd
this.
smack into there and you stop.
That's how it worked with the little...
So I just run down there. Yep, there you go. And why don't you show coming into there? So you'd come through and not have to worry about smashing into stuff. Not sure what this part is. This looks like another fishing device here. Oh, yes, yes. I remember this. This was the same exact type of setup, except we would just box you in with dirt. So if we head on over here, this is where we set up shop when we were doing the... You'll notice there's lots of sand. And the reason there was lots of sand, and there should be a bunch of night vision and water breathing potions here. And the reason was because we did this project. And this is obviously a guardian temple. And we emptied the whole thing out. And the next project was to attach this land here, bring it down naturally. Not in this staircase mode, but have it come down and look natural as it came down to the Guardian Temple down here. This took a long time to clear out. Took forever.
We mostly use sponges, right?
We didn't have that many sponges. That was the problem, is we didn't find very many sponges here. We found them later, but let's see, exit, right. And so we started reworking the inside of this to create little other rooms and all of this stuff. So you'd be down here working and you'd have guardians spawning and coming around the corner and shooting at you and all of that. But I think we were going to make, you know, another little diner and stuff like that. But we spent quite a bit of time. And I guess one of the next things we probably would have done, and there was a cavern under here. So we would get normal mobs too. But we were going to clear this out and, of course, make a guardian spawner. And this is probably full of... This would have been where we would dry out the sponges. But let's see. I don't see any chests around. But they'd be around someplace. So this was a very long process getting all of this out because we did the whole drop the sand in the water thing while we were being obliterated by guardians on the outside. But we ended up with a cool place where you can look out into the water and all of that. So fun project. Took a long, long time. And let's see. Yeah, these are the natural structures on the outside of the temple. So we tried to preserve as much as made sense, but obviously couldn't do it all. I don't know if we'll get out to the Mushroom Island that we found today. But let me see. I'm just going to do something on this stream real quick. There we go. So chat, is the audio and everything still okay? Are you getting any glitches on video or anything?
I think it's all good.
Okay, great. So coming over here some more. I'm sure that some of you know what this is. This is an old school mob farm. Let's see if I can actually land here. Well, I'll land down here. So, here's a mob farm that we can turn on, turn off, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. That's the AFK point there, and it would generate tons and tons and tons of stuff down here. I'm not going to turn it on right now because we don't need to start having mobs spawn. But you can see, you guys have probably all seen this type of setup before. And then underneath, we have, let's see, how do we get into here? There we go. This is where all of the stuff went to.
Sorry.
Was that you burning up?
I was stuck.
So you can see this is where we started getting all of our string and all of our gunpowder and those types of things as well. And so everything would come down eventually into these things. And yeah. Let's see. I'll just hop up here and we can fly away again. And let's go ahead and go up into this area here to see what this actually is. Ow. Okay. Booth 2.
Maybe that's what the tickets were for earlier. In your
Could have
shulker.
been. Looks like this was going to be something. I don't think I was involved in this project at all.
I think it was off. It was on. I don't know. I think it was Butterman, me, and then
cool.
that's while you were doing the temple thing.
Cool. So let's hop out here and maybe fly back.
Can we go to the end?
Yeah, actually, if we go out back to base, we can take the minecart out to the original village where we all started. and go from there. I believe it's this direction. So, yeah, it's really cool to take a look at this world after so many years. That's so funny with it spawning in so quickly. Yeah, looks like we're having some...
Did you find base?
Here's the swamp. Or a swamp.
I don't know where I am.
And here we go. Here's... Yeah, I know where I am. So, if you guys remember, I said there was more stuff over here. This is just a little place, and I think that this is where we stayed when we built the iron farm. And we might have been starting to build out this way as well. You guys will see kind of the time frame that this iron farm was made just by its design. So that all those doors used to be what made this considered a village. And so those guys would cause the golems to spawn, and golems would spawn, hit the blade and the lava blade, and then come down here and create iron. But they changed the way that all of those things work. So this would no longer function under the current version of Minecraft. But if we head on back this way... Oh yeah, and I remember running back and forth across these things here so many times. And here's the concession stand. Melon slice $1, baked potato $2, spring water $1, milk $2. And looks like we're all stocked up as well. That's for the arena fights. So if we go back this way, then we can take the train back. And we can actually take the train all the way out of our little town here. And... Uh-oh. Oh, right. You know what? There was one other thing that I needed to show you guys over here. So I talked about this over here. This is a produce stand that we have here. And so, you know, if you go in... is that fruitacular produce? Then you can go in and we have all of this stuff stocked up. Take whatever you need. And we can go in the back. And this side was like a... Is this a butcher shop? The Choppy Butcher. And so, once again, this is where we would store a lot of food. But if you come back here, you can open up this part and go down into what it's really here for. And this is where we would usually set our spawn points. So this is something that grew over time. It started a little thing, then it got bigger, then it took up this place. Then we got more and more types of items, so we had to make it go down into here. So you can see there, you know, the theme stays the same, but the materials all change. And so you can see that each of these things has its own type of stuff. So black terracotta and all that. And, you know, we have probably some of everything down here. And all sorts of stuff. Let's see. Nether blocks. Redstone, of course. So these things were all around here, and we would do a lot of smelting in here. Adventuring supplies, of course. And it looks like somebody made a flag shield. That's cool. And then this was one of the first redstone things that I ever made, was coming back here. And we had this little secret room in here way before the rest of the stuff was there. You know, so we would have stuff like gold, gems. Looks like we were running low on diamonds. glowstone was a thing for a long time. It got easier, but at the beginning, you know, these were mob drops. So that shows you how far back this goes, that we were actually saving mob drops. Rare materials, you know, blaze rods and stuff like that. And some iron is in here, so we weren't doing too badly on that. More redstone. So, yeah, and then you'd come back out this way and be able to go out, and it closes. And I remember within this wall, there's so much circuitry because I didn't really know what I was doing as far as redstone goes. And, but, you know, it did the job. So that was really early on in redstone, I think. And let's see. Yeah, you can see the amount of prismarine and everything that we had stacked up. So this once again, I think we had an extra map. And I'm going to eat this guy. Excuse me.
It's all right.
Thank you. Then we close that up, and now we can go over to the other place. So we'll go up to the Great Hall, which was right over by my tower. And it looks like Dyson is already there, so let's go ahead and join her. So we'll go back up to the top of this tower over here. And I actually remember making this. We used to have a minecart going across.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it.
I took it out because it didn't make sense. And up here we have, you know, once again, just places to look out at stuff. You can see there's a lot of stone here. And that was because of the time that this was built. Little balcony. And you can see out there is the desert. So once again, the very abrupt changes to the different biomes. So chat, has anybody seen anything familiar from their times playing? You know, drop a chat, put something in the comments to tell us a little bit about the worlds that you've had in the past. So this was the first one we actually started, and it went through, you know, for those who haven't heard the story, it went through from like 1.3 or 1.4 through to a fairly recent version. And so we played on this for years and years. I remember actually making all of this stuff, and let's see, there should be, yeah. So the obligatory television set. We do have a place up here that has more little balconies and stuff. And if we go down, I believe we go into, we get the ability to go into a secret cave. So here's where we actually had stuff. This used to be where we had a ton of our stuff. So we didn't have much when we made this guy. This is the Great Hall. And here was a fairly early map of things. And I think that this was the first enchanted armor that we ever had on the thing. We have this going. We came back with some netherrack so we could make it burn, and this lets us go down into secret tunnels. So in here, there's an underground little cave to hang out in. Has an aquarium. I'm pretty sure that we put fish in there at some point. Heated by the lava there. But then if we go and go this direction, once again, old school people will remember this trick. We have that. This is one of the first enchanting places we had. So we just left it there. And you'll notice we are right back out back where the tower is. And this was a natural cave that we just used. I do remember the first time that we started using sand. We made this little spa here.
This took so long to get all this stuff, though.
Right, because we had to do it from sand. And so, it's like 4 sand makes 1 sandstone, 4 sandstone makes 1 smooth sandstone, stuff like that. So it just took forever.
That's before they had it be that would give you the times 4.
Yeah, it was 4 to 1, then 4 to 1, and all that. So to make one of these blocks just took a lot of mining of sand. And this was our first potted plant. Then if you go up this way, once again, these are all started as natural caves. You notice we have some guards here. There's a reason for that. If we go all the way down here, you'll see that we have our nether portal. We should actually go in and see what it's all about. I think we have a base on the other side. Is that right, Butterman?
Yes, we do.
I'm not going to the nether. I'm sorry. I'm scared of it. We're just gonna... I'm staying over here.
Okay, so, well, it looks like we have a glitch there. Why are there wither skeletons and blazes and all that? I don't remember them being like that. But, I guess they were. So, yeah, probably not the easiest place to be. Oh, and you notice what we don't have. We don't have gold armor or anything stashed here because that wasn't a thing then. Right?
Something came through the portal.
What came through?
A pigman? Piglin? It has ears. I don't know. Will the golems start attacking it?
They will.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're wondering, this is a pretty good bow. Anyway, so we have been all over the place in this nether. There's a ghast. Right, and there are all sorts of buildings we have over here too, but I'm going to go back so we don't get on an expedition. Hello, sir.
Should we kill him or no?
No, leave him alone.
Okay.
He's cool. Let's go ahead and block this back up. The reason we block it up is we always had stuff coming through and starting fights with these guys.
I think it's because we probably have another
Like you
portal.
see this block is missing? That was a creeper explosion from something that spawned in here. And we always had weird spawning things going on in this entire place. But, Dyson, can you hit us with, yeah, looks like we have some stuff left from enchanting. Thank you. So, once again, this stuff was pretty early on. And this used to be a storage room. So it had all sorts of chests everywhere. And we ended up moving that, like you saw, way over to the other side at some point. I don't know exactly when that was, but let's go ahead and I'm going to go over here and get a minecart so I can use the express road. Yeah, classic painting trick, Prime Star. Yeah. So, like we said before, there's just a lot of stuff on this world. If you go down this way, for instance, now we go into a whole other place that we've been. Oh, and I guess we have to show you one thing here. When we got over our fear of the chasm, we started going through and finding stuff here. So this is the dark chasm. And as you can see, we have gone so far into this place, getting diamonds and all sorts of stuff from down here. It's a labyrinth going through. But we did spend quite a long time going through this place. And so there is a way to come up right over here And we didn't really have that many things coming up to cause trouble from there. They mainly spawned in here, in these areas, and would come up and cause problems. So we'll go ahead and go through this back way. And you'll see there is another building that I'm not sure that it was finished. We were building a restaurant over here.
Oh,
Help wanted.
right. I forgot about this.
So that's where you check your stuff. And let's see. Yeah, so obviously we were still working on all of this, but this is like the where you know, the coat room and stuff like that. And then this is where you can eat, and I think there's some VIP lounge. VIP lounge. I guess they were. So this is someplace that was a little bit different, and looks like we started using terracotta and stuff like that at this point. And so if we come over to this side, oh, this right here was a natural waterfall. And so we basically replaced the natural stones with all of these, but that waterfall was natural. And so we preserved it as we built this thing up. Then out here, we can grow crops to help make food. And yep, this mess tells me that we were digging stuff out and all of that. And then there was a walk up for takeout. We'll come out here. So this is like a little inner courtyard. And that apparently belongs to Butterman. More help wanted signs. But this is where you could come and get your food if you were doing takeout. And looks like we're growing cactus for some reason.
Probably the dye.
Yeah. So Dyson, what were your fond memories of this world? What were your favorite things to work on and do?
I just remember being really little, and then it would be like on a weekend or just after school or something, and it would just be calming to come on and do something.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd plan out these projects, like the entire village that you saw. And, you know, you have to have a plan. Then we had to bring our plan, show what we wanted to do, and get the supplies, usually making you get the supplies. And then, you know, just build stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah. And there was a lot of working together, but at the same time, there were sometimes you'd just show up and, you know, Dyson or Butterman would have just made something out of the blue, and you're like, whoa, you know, that's really cool.
My favorite thing is when we go to the end.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that we have to go over there. It took us so long to find the stronghold. We found one stronghold, and it was incomplete. So it was a broken stronghold. And then we had to go like to the other side of the world to find the other one, and it ended up being super close to this spawn of the world. And Prime Star is asking, what's the minimum wage in Darby World 1.0?
If we're talking gold nuggets, what do you think?
I don't know.
I
This
think
was a pretty expensive
Butterman.
place.
Yeah, Butterman had the prices.
It's probably like eggs. It's probably minimum wage.
Eggs?
Eggs.
Just eggs. No,
Just eggs, no amount.
just go get eggs from that chicken.
Okay, so apparently some number of eggs, Prime Star.
We have an issue.
Oh,
We were probably out here fighting at some point.
so if you remember, we talked a little bit about going out into the desert and fighting all the time. This is where we used to do it. We'd just come out here at night and just let stuff spawn. And I think Butterman built this. I'm not sure what the doors were for. They might have
Wasn't
just been
this when we
decoration.
found that zombie villager
Could have been.
and then we turned him back?
Yeah, could have been. And then this is an archery tower. So Dyson would come up here and just pick stuff off from a long way away. And actually, if you see down there where the cursor is, those torches, that is the tunnel exit from over there that we talked about. That where we said, yeah, we'll go ahead and take the tunnel over to the desert. That's where it comes out. And so everything in this world is kind of connected because of the way it was made, right? And so let's go over. This was the second village that we found. And so we do have roads everywhere. And the village only had a couple villagers left. They would get, you know, spawns, and then everybody would die and stuff like that. And so we started building things up, and I know we were working on putting together some buildings for them. And helping to repopulate this place. So here are some guys. You can see that once again, at this point in time, having the number of doors you had a lot to do with how many villagers you would get. And so we would build things like this, and then, you know, fill it full of beds and stuff like that. And that way we would get villagers. And so it looks like we were in the process at some point of building out these little additions to what they already had in place to pump up their population and make it a little bit better. Putting in things like this so that they wouldn't get as many mob spawns. And so, yeah. There is that.
That's the second village, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to run off to the other village real quick. I'm going to hop back onto the railway, which, if I remember correctly, might be broken along the way.
Let me check. I think it was just that little piece that got really bad.
Oh, and we're going to have guys spawning now. Let's go ahead and try to scoot forward. Come on, man. Guess it doesn't work like that anymore. Oh, Husk. Hello, sir. Okay, I'll put this down right here, and then we'll go. So, like I said, we did just about everything out of activator rails on both sides of a power rail, so that the tracks worked both ways. And so I know a creeper put an end to this track at some point. I think it was right up here, actually, that it had broken it. So this will take us all the way over to the original village. And so if we look along the side here, there will be a carve out on one of these stone walls, and that will be the first place we actually started mining. But you can see that we did exploration up there. And so I'm not really sure where that is. I do see that we're coming up on the end of this track, though. So there. That was the very first mine. So pretty cool to see stuff like that. And you can see that we have this snow biome right off of the desert. So old school Minecraft generation. And our spawn was actually right out there. And I think we have a torch set up there. But here we are at the original place. And so I'll hop off of here. No, come back. I'll put that guy away now. So most of this is original. Okay, Primestar saying, also Darby, just wanted to let you know that I have a project in the works that I think you'll be interested in. It should be done in about a week. Look forward to seeing it, Primestar. Maybe it's something that we can show everybody on stream or something. It's related to our channel. Well, then we really appreciate it. Okay, so this was the first house. No, not this. This is the first house And you notice how people are going into it and all over. So I started building myself a house out here. I'm like, cool, I'm going to have a cool house. And these guys kept coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Yeah, they're all... Nobody has a job here, right? These are like... They're OG villagers. They're... and so they kept taking over my house, and so I was like, okay, forget about this, I'm moving out. So I moved out. Then eventually we came back, and we ended up making some of these new structures. Once again, like one of these, which wouldn't mean anything to any current Minecraft players, but back in the day, this made villagers. It was kind of a different world back then. Obviously, we have some stuff from the end here, and we fenced everything in, and they started producing the golems, and so we have this here. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe these help produce golems or something. But I remember when we first came out, we got into this village, and it was just disastrous. There were mobs everywhere, and so this was the first base. We went inside, and all we knew was that if you lit places up, nothing would spawn. And so this was the first night that we stayed here. And, let's see. These torches help keep the mobs away when we first started. And let's see, recovered the... Okay, so I think I have the first wooden sword, or the second wooden sword, over in probably around my bedroom in the other place. And let's see, that won't open. But this is what we did, and kind of where we stayed. And you'll notice that we have this, and right over there is a pyramid. So it was actually a pretty cool location. But let's see, I think we are going to run out into the desert and head off to the end. So yeah, we did this one really early on. And I remember, nobody really knew much about it. I think it is this way diagonally. Is that right, Butterman? It's off diagonally from the town?
That sounds right. There should be landmarks. Or like a giant, actually not so giant pillar with light.
Okay. So we'll see what we have over here. Fireworks.
The area looks familiar.
It does. And like I said, this was the second stronghold we found, because the first one didn't have an ender teleporter room thing. It didn't have the end portal.
Oh, I think I see it.
So, yeah, okay, there. I can see it off in the distance as well, if you see that thing made of the end stone. That obelisk. So... And there's a jungle down there. This jungle, we weren't able to find any parrots in it at all. Looked through the whole thing, nothing. Not a peep. And the stronghold is down here. So let's go ahead and see where we go. Here we go. And then we'll go over and you guys will be able to see Dyson's legendary Ender Farm. Enderman
Yeah, I
farm.
love it. It's my favorite thing.
Advancement made, I spy. What's that?
It means that you came to a stronghold.
Oh. So, here we go. The stronghold has been carved out. Ender portal. Oh, okay. Coming soon, Ender Hotel. I think we had a thing for making hotels and restaurants every place.
I know. And chicken farms, apparently.
So there we go, and now we will just hop in.
Okay, don't look at
And
anything.
we'll just make sure not to look at these dudes. And hop up in, and should look familiar to everybody. And let's see if we can get into our little structure here. Actually, forget how we get in. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that was the original thing that it was made.
Yeah, so there's this, and then we actually have underground passages. Yeah, so there we go. And that's how we get to here. So if you're gonna fight Enderman and you want to gain levels, this is the fun way to do it. You just start looking at them and make them all mad. Gather as many as you can, and then start swinging. So Dyson made a tiny version of this, and I forget what I was doing, but I came back and she was just killing Endermen, and it's like, oh, that's a great idea, just to do it that way. So this is the way we did it, and this is how we would mend all of our stuff up. You know, so for instance, we could do this. And then once you do that, you run out, you grab all this stuff. So, and it's absurdly effective. If you come back up to this part, you'll see that we have these things. And you know, we would come up here for not very long and fill all of these, and then have to get all of the stuff back over to the overworld. And so you can get them from quite a long way away. And then, so they don't teleport because you're hitting their feet or their legs. And that's the way we do it. So, not as high-tech as what a lot of other people did. And let's see. Should be okay now. Then you run through, grab all the stuff, and run back in. And so, that is the way that we would take care of all of our mending stuff and getting levels and all of those things. But, cool. So let's see. How much did we grab just from that? No levels, but this went up a bit, right? So, let's see. Dyson, what else was there that we wanted to show?
I don't think there's much. Well, there's so much that we couldn't get to.
Yeah. So why don't we run back to the overworld? And actually, do you remember where you set your spawn point?
The Great Hall.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in here. I will probably teleport back to my room. So let's meet up over there.
Where?
Oh, okay. So I'm down here, not in my room. I'm in the produce stand.
Wait, how'd you get back?
That's where I set my spawn.
How do you do that?
Yeah, so you can teleport over if you like.
How?
Huh?
Can you teleport through?
Oh no, you just go into the portal thing.
I don't know where it is.
Butterman is helping out right now,
Yes, thank you. I'm lost.
thankfully.
Whoa.
Yeah, up there, bedrock structure. Jump down it.
Okay.
Oh,
So chat, where do you think we should take our family
I'm
photo for
dumb.
this one?
It's cool. I found it. I thought there was like a separate portal or something.
Any ideas?
For what?
Yeah, and that does sound interesting. Wondering what Prime Star is up to.
Oh.
So let's see. Dyson, where should we take a family photo
With the chicken.
with the chicken.
With the chicken. Okay, let me just like.
So this is what you think? We probably have so many screenshots like that. Let's go ahead and put this back here. Cool. So once again, thanks everybody for hopping on with us. We really appreciate you guys going on this ride with us. Once again, please share. Let's do it up here, Dyson. With your friends and people who aren't your friends, all of those cool things. And let's see. That's good, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we have that. But yeah, so I think that the next thing we're going to be doing is we will be back on to the Darby World 3.0, but we really thank you guys for coming on this tour with us. We hope you guys had fun. Hope it was interesting. So please drop a comment, like, subscribe if you have not. Please share with your friends. We'd love to get more and more people coming on here, and we look forward to seeing you guys again. We hope you have a fantastic weekend, and bye for now.
Bye.